Welcome to the third film in our Foundations series. In it, we take a look at the work that has to be carried out in preparation for the foundations. The first step is the excavation of the foundation pit in which the building will sit. How this is done and the plant used to do it will depend on the soil cohesion of the ground. Here, you can see how it was done in Wolfsburg. The medium sandy soil on the site was broken up easily using a drag shovel excavator and then loaded onto the lorries that would remove the spoil from the site. The limited carrying capacity of diggers and lorries means that the excavation of large foundation pits can be very time-consuming. Digging a foundation pit is a major task, and the pit should be as big as necessary, but no bigger. Optimum size and depth are carefully calculated. A working space of 50 centimeters is required between pit edge and basement wall. In simple foundations, the underside of the base slab is set directly on the bottom or floor of the foundation pit, which provides a convenient surface for digging foundation trenches. If the foundation pit is deeper than 1.25 meters, then sides are angled or banked to prevent slippage and collapse. The angle of the slope depends primarily on the soil type, the depth of the foundation pit, and the length of the foundation construction phase. In cohesive soils with a relatively firm consistency, an angle of 45 to 60 degrees to the horizontal is standard. If the foundation pit is more than 3 meters deep, a horizontal shelf is generally cut part way up the sides. This is known as benching. If the sides of the foundation pit cannot be banked because the soil is not sufficiently cohesive or space is tight, they can also be secured or shuttered by means of a vertical wall-like construction known as a pit lining. The purpose of this lining is to deal with the lateral earth pressure. Where a pit lining is constructed, the working space should be made a little larger. There are various types of foundation pit lining, including sheet pile, soldier pile, board pile, and diaphragm walls. The choice of lining depends on many factors, but thankfully for us, it's made by the specialists, the soil surveyors and structural engineers. Here, you can see a very common lining system using sheet pile walls, also known in Germany as a Berlin lining, in which squared timbers are laid between rammed steel sections. The foundation pit must be kept free of ground and rainwater. Underwater concrete does exist, but is not appropriate for foundation pits, which are for the most part dry. Rainwater must be pumped out, and the level of any standing groundwater must be lowered. This is done by excavating trenches and pumping out any water that runs into them, a method known as dewatering by open sump pumping, or by sinking deep wells that are constantly pumped out, so lowering the groundwater level locally. This technique is called dewatering by constructing deep wells. Summary. Excavating a foundation pit is a major task. The pit should be as big as necessary, but no bigger. A working space of 50 centimeters is required between the edge of the pit and the basement wall. First of all, the soil, known as spoil, is removed by digger, loaded onto lorries and driven away. If a foundation pit is deeper than 1.25 meters, the sides are banked. In cohesive soils, an angle of 45 to 60 degrees to the horizontal is standard. If the soil is not sufficiently cohesive, or if space is tight, the pit sides can be secured by means of a vertical wall-like construction known as a pit lining. Why not take a look at the fourth film in our Foundation series? It explains how simple foundations are constructed.